Working on it.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Mita.
How are you doing, Charlie?
I'm doing fine, thanks. How about you?
Pretty good. I think that's Yogesh, maybe.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. If you can hear me now, Mita and Charlie, sorry, my
Yep. We can hear you now, Yogesh.
Morning, Yogesh.
Morning.
switching the headsets. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes. You guys hear me now?
We can hear you,
think-
Yogesh. I think maybe you may not be hearing us.
All right. I just kept saying good morning, but then realized that my Microsoft microphone was was not set right.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I think I just changed my speaker also. Maybe I'll hear you now.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one thing I could never figure out. You switch your headsets or connect to Bluetooth. It's some magic that maybe Drew can tell us. Good morning, Drew. How does Microsoft manage the switching of headsets in Windows? So put you on the spot, Drew, first thing in the morning, right?
I was
Maybe he's having problems too.
I was. It was. And my immediate answer to you,
Any answer?
the question was that it was a random number generator.
Good one. Good. That was good thing in the morning. Okay, so Drew, you might have seen I already sent a message to Rob to put us on the steering committee agenda for FMFM and ROS API. We'll do those two first in September. I mean August meeting, and then we'll do the hardware fault management in September. I hope that we can do ROS API in August too, but we'll see.
Well, and the poison doc too. I think I need to make another pass through it.
Yeah. So yeah, let me know. We can send email for that also.
Mm-hmm. But thanks. I saw people working on the Omni doc. It's looking pretty close.
Yeah, FMFM does, right? You share it?
Oh no, do you want me to?
Yeah, you've been driving, so finish it up.
So I'm just going to scroll through from the start just to show everyone how awesome it is. But see, we're looking. I mean, I think it's all been reviewed. We should get rid of an extra row here.
Yeah, so what I did in the other document, and I can change this one too. What I did was I just added 2 columns. I removed the name. So what I did was 2 columns, company name, and within that company, the next column would have all the names who all from that company contributed. That way we have kind of alphabetized by company, and then that makes for a simpler thing. So maybe if you're like, we can do that here too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And then we can probably have no affiliation or the current affiliation unknown and put people in that, like those who have changed formerly companies, right? We can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay.
And I mean, I'm just looking for comments. Oh, and let's make sure this is up to date. Let's see. Okay, I think that's updated.
So I made a change yesterday or maybe Friday, I can't remember, for the glossary.
Yeah, we'll get there. I saw it. That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's the direction we want to go, but yeah.
I think it was what we discussed. But I'm just working my way through, and I think, look, everything looks clean of comments through now. Where the first comments are here at the end. Oh, huh. I did move the. Okay, I did move the scenarios, but
Maybe you did not delete it from here.
maybe I'll check. I'll check right away. I mean, right after the meeting and make sure I copied that. And I guess this whole section, all the way, yeah, the table, I'll make sure is in the. Well, I don't know. So I'll move it to a separate document. Oh, this is a separate document temporarily. I see. Okay, I'll move that, and then we'll put this back in when we get to when we get to the SPD topic. Okay. And then I saw what you did, Mita, and yeah.
Is it does it read right FM and FMFM? Is it supposed to be something
I
FMFM?
like it. It's kind of funny, but well, it's fault management.
Fault management and FMFM.
But
Yeah, we
Okay.
can change the name. I just went
No,
through
that's a
the
good
2
trick.
glossaries and consolidated, the various. Some things were in this one and some in the other one.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. Good doing. Yeah.
well,
Thanks
and
for
maybe
doing all the work. Yeah.
we could just call it the OCP fault management glossary of terms, right?
Yeah, basically it covers everything fault management, right? Yeah. So not just these two, even GPU RAS and others should be aligned, right? Basically,
Yeah.
it's the same, ultimately affects everyone. So
Yeah, you kind of read my mind. Is that look, we want all these other things to use to align on terms. Yeah.
right.
Okay, but I like what you did, so I'm gonna accept it. I mean, unless it's controversial.
So that's great. Thank you so much, Mita, for all your work here.
Yeah,
Keep us rolling.
There are a couple of open items in the glossary. They came from the FM side actually, but
Yeah.
yeah.
And I know Charlie's been working on the resets. We just put Charlie. We delayed it a little bit because we knew that would slow down the OCP fault management document because resets are a rich topic. So
Yeah.
that may be something we can do
Yes.
like after we get the doc settled.
Yeah. I think resets itself is a subject onto its own.
Yeah, it's a big.
No, actually, Charlie, if you are willing, I'll be more than happy to write a reset white paper with you, and whoever else wants to join. It'll be a good one. Like Drew did Python, Drew and Mita. It's good paper. We need more knowledge, RAS knowledge. And reset has a lot to do with error harvesting, recovery, and fault management.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think what makes it really complicated is if the system crashes for some reason, power, you name it, then who knows how it comes back up or what comes back up and what doesn't. If I have, you know, a situation where the system crashes and you can bring it back up and go through the various different operations, that's one thing. But if somebody kicks the power cord in the wall, then the system's not even going to come back up at all. So I think that in my mind, the complicated part of reset is what's the failure mechanism and how much can the system come back up and report?
Yep. Yeah, and then we have lots of proprietary variants of warm reset created by different companies. But I think realistically, I would like to start aligning everything with the ACPI defined. Is it ACPI defined power states, and then within that we can clarify how things flow. From all the S states and P states, and then from there we can define what is generally expected to work. Now we cannot cover all the proprietary implementations. There are too many of those, but yeah.
Well, and I think the other thing is to include ARM because warm reset. Like I can give you some history on warm reset. It came about because the stuff we were doing on PA risk and Itanium was too hard to implement by mortals. It was really tricky because we didn't need warm reset. Generally, we gathered error logs on the way down. And ARM said, oh, it's just easier to gather them in a microcontroller that can run when the rest of the system's belly up. So we should, we need some variations there and say, hey, let's make sure ARM is covered because they'll be they have a sensitivity there. They're like, hey, we don't have to implement warm reset to get error logs. Just kind of the sensitivity.
Is this like more system level reset? Are we also going to dive into, for example, fundamental reset, function level reset, the PCI Express stuff?
That's actually good thought. Yeah. So how we come? Yeah. That. Charlie, any thoughts? I don't have anything off the top of my head. I mean, those resets are more about not the power reset, but the reset of the protocol reset. Those are more like protocol resets. Like FLR, in my opinion, is not a power reset. It's a protocol reset.
Correct. Yeah.
Right?
But fundamental reset could be.
Yeah, but FLR is actually a good power, fault management thing to highlight, right? That's a recovery mechanism built into the protocol. But I think what we want to probably talk about it separately than power reset.
Yogesh, I would propose that we put that in a doc with other information related to PCIe RAS that includes something about basically bringing link back up after an error, and how to like down.
I can almost think of. This is all standards-based stuff. Don't need to define, but maybe it can. We can talk to Ram also, and you are here. Maybe we want to. I can almost think of a I/O recovery white paper, which will include both PCIe, CXL, GPUs, and all that. That's why I mentioned Rama. Maybe it's part of the GPU RAS spec, where what level of reset and recovery at what level, like root complex level, port level.
I think the GPU doc is more presently about how do you contain errors and how do you make them more reliable.
Right.
And I would argue that a PCI link error handling document would be a more universal resource, and we could point.
Yeah. So again, kind of like a white paper style thing, maybe a good one. I don't know.
That's what I'm suggesting is a separate.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay. We keep giving ourselves homework. Thank you, Mita.
But it's good. I mean, that's a
I'm
lot.
just joking.
Awesome. Okay. I'm gonna close that.
So Drew, the direction we went with this, kind of the cleanup of the JSON schema there. I mean, I have it highlighted in yellow. We probably want to, oh, actually Owen linked it up above in the text as well. We did just kind of an intro here and then just linked to that version that Owen presented. I don't think we need to do kind of another full review of that. We did review it in here, shoot, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, probably. But we haven't made any changes to it since then, other than just making sure all the naming matches from our table in this doc and then that proposed example schema.
Okay.
But then this block is just something Owen wrote up for kind of an intro. So as far as publishing the spec, could use some feedback on what we want to include here and how we want to kind of introduce it. And I think in this case, I could especially use some Hynix and Samsung feedback as well. I don't think we have any Samsung today.
And I would say it says fleet managers. I would say fleet operators.
Yeah, I think that's the language we've been using.
Well, because the fleet managers don't like a lot of times they're finance people or something, right? Well, that sounds good. Okay.
So,
No.
so you want to just mention about the other vendors also? So do you want to kind of make the appendix into like title, DIM vendor, memory analyzers? Within that, we can make 3 sections. Micron.
Yeah, I think the idea here, Yogesh, is just to have one that all 3 of us agree upon for the basics, and
I
then
see.
just leave it extensible. So we should just change that name.
Okay.
That's just an outdated name. Yeah, just get rid of Micron out of there.
And the way to think of it is that the CPR logs or whatever you need them to be is a processor vendor and however your registers work, but that you can take that data and process it into this format for the memory vendors inside the analyzer, right?
Yeah, or yeah, be able to take this into this schema and be able to, yeah, I guess we left that in the doc as kind of like the interaction between this, well, the system CPU analyzer and the memory analyzer.
And some of that can be proprietary, but then there's some baseline, right, that you want the format to be in, so it's consistent, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, date time typing and things like that. If we're able to keep that consistent, you know, across platform vendors, whatever, that our issue right now is that we have a parser for every, you know, system CPU vendor, customers log things differently, et cetera, et cetera. So I think a big benefit for the memory vendors is to work towards standardizing some of that. So this is kind of the nudge that direction from us, I guess.
And I guess, you know, like you have a header parser, and that would parse whatever the CPR was into that JSON
Yep.
for the DFA, right? I mean, it's kind of on this link where, if you can see where my mouse is.
Yep, I can.
Is that right?
Yep, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Thanks for doing all the flow charts, Drew. That gives an easy reference for something like that.
Okay, I was just making sure I was aligned, but or I understood. But yeah, I think we're aligned, and I think this is good. I'm going to, and I said rather than via the shared drive, via the OCP FMF shared drive. You know,
Yep.
so, you know, just Just to say this is an OCP FM kind of thing that we're working through. That's all I was trying to say by doing that.
And
Yeah.
then maybe we should think about making sure that once we agree upon that thing, we somehow make it not so easily be editable. So it's, you know, somewhat, you know, OCP drives are open, right? Anyone can get in and do
Right.
whatever. So yeah.
You can make a folder that only certain people can write and anyone can read
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's probably a release consideration.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll send out an email again today and just ask for feedback on it again, but I don't expect, what we called it version 1.0 in here. I don't expect it to be controversial. It just had some name changes in it from the last one we reviewed.
Okay. And so if as soon as I move the SPD example out, I think
And we were done with the references. I mean the external industry stuff, right? I was trying to remember. We were working on that last. There's changes needed to other industry standards or something. That was it a table? Future work. Yeah, this one. So yeah, this section. I think future work is still not done. It's incomplete. And were we done with the table above? I thought we were, but I just want to check.
I think we are, but let's assign, I'm sorry, can we assign this before we move it on? So
Yeah,
you want me to clean it up or do you want to clean it up or someone else?
I think I would remove it from here, the temporary doc or whatever. I think whatever is important could be part of the conclusion as one short statement in the future versions of this document. We don't need a separate full section on this, I think, but
Yeah. And I'll just add, I'll add a note that that for few, I think we leave the section just say that we intend to you know, continue this for other DRM technologies.
yeah, that could be part of the conclusion. That doesn't need a section, right?
Okay. And I can do that. Okay.
I think I already mentioned in the conclusion, which I wrote. I think you all reviewed this, right? That we are already future work will expand. The last statement already does that job.
Oh, so I can just remove the section.
Yeah, just put it somewhere, placeholder or whatever temp document we had.
Yeah. Okay, I've already created the temporary doc. So, and I created it from this doc, so it should be in the same place. I'll double check that so where we can all get it. Oops. Wow. Oh. Okay. Okay. And I just need to do the same thing with this. Make sure it's in the right. Oh wow, my screen went. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Yep. We still got you, Drew.
Okay, my screen went black for a second. I'm like, uh-oh. Okay, so let me regenerate the table of contents. All right, mission complete.
Wow. Let's go party.
I did just make one more change there, Drew. You notice we skip Appendix C now because we had an Appendix C and an Appendix D that were both the schema. One was the example, one was the actual. So I just deleted the header for Appendix C. And so it should be Appendix C now.
Looks like they're using different header style.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. They look the same down here.
Select it and change the header type to match, or use the format painter from Appendix D and put it on Appendix C. That will fix it, I think.
You may
that
need
style.
yeah, I accepted it. Okay, I'll see if that did the trick. You may need to include the hidden paragraph mark, because sometimes the
Yeah, that keeps the old
formats in the paragraph.
format.
So it's still, okay, it's still doing it, but let me see. No. I don't know what it's doing. Okay, well, we can work on that. But I think other than that, we're done. I can't believe it. This is really good. Thank you, everyone. This is awesome.
Woohoo! I think
And
we're even roughly on the schedule we announced in the global summit last year. We're pretty close.
it's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
I
And
think technically we missed it. I think we said Q2,
okay,
but
so we're
maybe missed it by a day.
hey, and just so you all know, at Microsoft, we want to do a pilot of the kind of the RAS API concepts, and the pilot that we're working on is using this experiment with post-package repair, and so we'll gather error logs, and we're going to extend an analyzer to do post-package repairs and plumb the CPAD commands in our fleet. We'll probably start off with a dummy CPAD command, and I'm going to propose that we add that, by the way, Yogesh, to the OCP RAS API framework, is that you can generate a dummy CPR that generates a dummy CPAD that generates another dummy informational CPAD with a CPAD status, so that you can just do the it's like a spoof that allows you to do the round trip and prove that you can see the results of the RAS action. And so it'll be just for testing. But I think everyone that has a pipeline is going to want something like that. So it'll be super simple. But that'll be what we start with. Then we're going to do memory post-package repair. And I had a talk with Roy at SK Hynix about this a few weeks ago. And it looks like, post-package repair is a really nice feature. I mean, like with you combine bounded fault and post-package repair, and memory reliability at Microsoft has kind of taken I would say, a leap forward in DDR5 due to the result of folks working together. So these efforts where we share data and talk to each other and work between CPU vendors and memory vendors to make memory more reliable, it's really bearing fruit. And so I think we're on the cusp of like huge improvements that will be needed in reliability as silicon gets really small and weird. So thank you, everyone. This is really exciting, and we combine this with the RAS API and the other stuff we're doing, and we're going to end up with RAS superpowers. So thank you. I think it's going to just really help us all.
Yep. Hey, I have a question for you guys. I'll be traveling for most of the July, but thought crossed my mind, even if I'm not there, Drew and Ivan and Mita and Charlie and others, you can take it through the steering committee and hardware management, right? If we try to do it in July itself, should we do it, or it's okay
Yeah.
to wait till I come back?
If you just make sure it's make sure I know when it is, and I'll be there. Yeah.
What is the thing? I mean, like.
So what happens, Mita, is the OCP process is we had to make a short presentation to hardware management and a steering committee for making the contribution official. So I think I don't want my travel to block the progress. So maybe we can ask to schedule in July itself if possible.
So that's for publishing this document, is it?
Yeah, contribution means publishing officially, right? Yeah.
Got it. And then what do? They review this document and
yeah, I think that's
just changes,
pretty much
or
it.
is it usually just one shot?
No, it's just for information. We have to make sure. Maybe we should I don't know, Drew, in the RAS API document, we have a section on meeting OCP tenants. Maybe we should add that. That's kind of one requirement for OCP contributions, that we meet the OCP tenant requirement. I'll share that section. Let me try to add it actually. I think
Okay.
we are going to need that. So basically they look at more like, okay, we are meeting the criteria, we are, and this is, and if there are no obvious big holes, that's what they do. I mean, to answer the question.
I guess, do I need to do that for the poison doc? I'm not sure.
Actually, good question. Why don't you start a thread, or if you want me, I can do it. Why don't you start thread with about poison doc and ask Rob about that. Hey, this is a white paper. Or go to OCP contributions, search for white paper. There are white papers, and see. I don't think they have it. White papers don't have it. I think it's the specifications that have to have it. I think, and I'm not sure this requirements, because in previous version of hardware fault management also we didn't have it. But it doesn't hurt to ask, because OCP rules have been evolving also. So
Who do do you want to ask, or should I ask, or do you want to just put it in, or what?
no, I can ask. What I was suggesting was for the Python paper contribution, you want to send an email. I mean, to same folks that I sent other email. You've seen your inbox. Same folks: Rob, Jeff, John, Hemant, and you can CC me and Mita. Just ask them, hey, want to contribute next steps, and just ask them, and when can we present it?
Sounds good.
I'm not even sure if what are the rules. Do they have everything presented? At what level? Hardware management project or steering committee? Just ask. Yeah, don't wait. Just ask. And for this one, yeah, I can ask. Because I'm not sure of requirements and specifications, because remember in previous version of hardware fault management, we did not have that section. I don't believe we did.
Okay, yeah. I don't, that's why you hear me acting a little surprised. I'm not opposed to it. I just.
But the thing is, we did in RAS API. Now that was spec template, which may have different requirements. So that's I'll have to ask. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and I see John added Jeff Heelan.
Yeah, I didn't have his email. I didn't want to wait. Let's just
Okay.
Yeah.
Evan, I see somehow you fixed the font thing.
I did.
How did you do
I format painted the table of contents there.
You did what?
So I just used the format painter on the table of contents there, and it did it.
Fix the problem locally.
Should we
That's
have
awesome.
should we have appendices as number 11? I'm not sure how we got the numbers out there, but it just seems like a section of appendices. So I wasn't sure how the numbers were. Were they just like typed in, or?
No, I think they're real numbers.
Oh, so how are they? Like,
See?
oh, how did you do that?
I'm sorry?
I don't know how you did that.
I format painted it.
Okay.
So I just I grabbed everything, including the paragraph mark, and then painted up to the paragraph mark, and it did it. And I'm sorry, when I say paragraph mark, it's turned off, but there is a paragraph right here.
Okay.
And I think that has the format. Okay, so we can fix that. Is that what you were suggesting?
Yeah. Lost knit.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Okay, one more update to the table of contents. Whoops. Ta-da, and guess what it did? Um,
For some reason, it just thinks appendices should be bigger.
I don't know. Oh, and it didn't get the 11.
Okay, I think I've learned a new trick here, Drew.
I did too. This is how you fix your table of contents. That's awesome. Okay.
I'm generally not in favor of treating the symptom, but I think in this case, it's probably okay.
Put the thinking document out. Okay, and if you all are interested in the poison doc, I know some people have already seen it. It's nothing fancy. I'm not trying to invent anything new, but rather just to explain poison because it's poorly understood by most people that end up using it. You know, they're system level programmers that have to suddenly handle this poison thing that they've never dealt with before, and it's a little bit of a complicated topic. So, you know, I'm happy to, if you want to see the doc, ping me and I'll share it with you. And I'm it's not a secret doc. I'm just you know, haven't submitted it for wide review yet.
Yeah, I'd love to take a look, Drew.
Okay, I can send it to you.
You had another one that we pulled out of hardware management too. You had another example, like memory fault
Scenario,
one that
it's in the scenarios folder on the wiki for this.
Okay.
And I think that may be like an immediate next step is to go through that scenario here and then take it to fault management, because you know, and you know, memory vendors, this is for you, but I'm trying to explain to people why counting memory errors doesn't help you understand what the error is, that you really have to look at which bits are flipped.
Yeah, I've gotten that question twice in the last month, Drew. So I'm very much in favor of helping with that.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. And what I like is that the reference doc, and the point of my scenario was that I can have the same error, I can have the same error condition, and I can get one error a day. I can get a few errors a day. I can get millions of errors a day, and it's all the same error condition. And the
Yep.
one error a day would be a bit flip where the patrol scrubber sees it.
Mm-hmm.
But then, you know, just depending on software access patterns, you know, the end user's experience will be wildly different, and the counts can vary. And that's what people don't tend to appreciate, is that the count varies wildly with whatever the OS is doing. And it doesn't necessarily represent a higher risk of crashing if it's something that ECC can cover well. And I can have a low rate of errors, but have a catastrophic memory problem that's going to cause a crash imminently. But you're not having a high rate, so you can't just say, let's use a threshold. And then the other thing I'm trying to show is kind of in sympathy with Roy, that because Roy's drilled this into me, and I agree. But I believed it before he did, but I agree with him strongly that the early errors are interesting, and so we don't want to hide them behind thresholds. We want to send the early errors up and look at the patterns for the very first memory errors. So anyway, I'll work on that, and we can go over the scenarios maybe in the next few weeks. I'm happy to do that in the intermediate time. I don't think they're going to take that long to go over, and I think having a bunch of memory experts review them will be awesome.
Yeah, I caught part of that one scenario you went through in the Friday meeting in the overall work stream. But
Okay.
I've had this note on my list for the last couple months to go take a closer look at it. So if you want to
Yeah.
do that in here, that'd be great.
Yeah, Yogesh, is that okay? You know, you know, between spec versions, we just take a time to walk through a few scenarios.
Of course, yeah, why not? And if you want to do it here, it's up to you. We can just tell people we are going to be doing it so they can come here. I just want to be mindful about, you know, hardware fault management is more difficult to make progress on, more challenged. So I just want to make sure we can we can keep making progress on that one too. But
Yeah, and
Yep.
I think
Yeah.
what we could do is review the memory scenario here,
okay, yeah,
put it to the point where we're confident in it, and then go over it briefly in the
sure, yeah.
but we
Whatever-
cover it in the fact that the memory experts have looked at this. This is how it works, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay, and you know, like one thing that I'm really intent on is kind of spreading some of the knowledge. You know, so think of these as ways to spread our knowledge to other people, because I think that there's just been so much confusion about these topics. If we have clear documents that people can reference, then what we do is we align people with our perspectives, and you know, I think it'll help you all as CPU and memory vendors, because we'll have a much more consistent understanding. You can point your customers to it and say, hey, this is, you know, what all the experts think. So hopefully that'll make all of our lives easier.
Yeah, Drew, you're absolutely right. Because my experience has been I've been fighting the same problems you're talking about, but with internal white papers, internal to the company, whether it was Sun or whether it's Cisco, that doesn't carry the weight of an OCP paper.
Yeah, I agree with you, Charlie, and that's kind of what I'm thinking, is that if we all sign off on it, then okay, the experts have reviewed it. You know, it's not just one company saying what they think. It's
Yeah, it's kind of JEDEC-like in the nature that you've got contributions from experts from all over the industry.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
cool. Well, thanks. You know, I'm thrilled. This is great. I'm music to my ears to hear that you all are interested in this too. Okay. Well, maybe we can wrap up early, or did you have something else?
Yeah,
Gosh.
yeah, no, I think we can wrap up. Good job, everyone.
Yeah, Drew,
Thank you so much. It's been
If-
fun.
if you want help getting this through the review process and whatever, let me know. Yogesh is out for July,
Yeah.
but I'm here for all of July. So
Okay. I mean, when we go to the review, maybe you can come with me, and you know, and Amita and whoever else, and you know, we can you know, answer questions and push it through.
Yeah, I
that'd be
think
great.
most likely I'll also be able to, if depending on where I am, I'll be, you know, working offline via emails, and if possible, I'll also join the call. So, but don't want to
Great.
wait, because we are basically ready. So why wait?
And
And you
then
guys, if you just like, how long do we have? You know, that's
I don't know. Let's see. Let's find out. I'm
Yeah.
emailing, so let's find out. I think we should have a couple of weeks. I think it's just first.
oh,
of
but I
all.
mean, like, if you can tell me the parameters of how long should we plan on talking in the meeting?
Oh, that. I wouldn't plan anything more than 10 minutes, really. If it goes in 15, 20, that's okay. But really, no need to go into deep dive. It's just about telling them what is it about, that's all. It's not about deep dive presentation. Just telling them highlights, like section level coverage. We have this. Like, I think last time what I did was I flashed the table of content, and then I talked about a few things. I talked about OCP tenants. I talked about the problem statement and goals, and then what we did, and how it aligns with other like RAS API. That's all.
Sounds good.
and more
Yeah,
importantly,
Sorry.
go ahead, Yogesh.
No, I was just gonna say we can work on that presentation together.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, I was going to say more importantly, what about that party we were talking about?
That has to be one of your conference rooms, Amita. You have all the good names.
Well, I'm in the
That's
neighborhood,
nice.
Nita. So if there are a few of us in the Bay Area that want to get together, I'm happy to. Or if anyone's visiting, we can have a kind of a get together.
I'm in.
Actually,
Yeah.
that's
let
who's
me know
coming
when it
for-
is. I'll see if I can swing a trip
who is
down your way.
coming for Global Summit. Who all is flying to come for Global Summit?
Yeah, I am.
I sure hope I can be there, Yogesh. I'm working on it.
Very cool.
Tony told me if I'm presenting, I can definitely go. So I'm working on it either way, but
Yeah, about that. Let me, Drew, Rama, hash out that presenter things. So yeah, I do want folks other than leads to present. I always want that, but we just have to kind of decide as a group of leads and and then yeah.
Is
Okay.
the registration
Yep.
covered if you're a presenter? Is that the thing?
It,
Like,
yeah, it was last year, right? Wasn't it? Your guess?
Speakers get a
I think that's
pass.
what
I think,
happened. Yeah. I think
Okay.
the registration section is covered.
Hopefully, Mita, your Python paper also gets through, so you get a free pass.
yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie, how about you? You planning to travel or?
No.
he's-
Yeah, well, so traveling isn't, if it's local, it's not an issue, but outside the Bay Area, Cisco's travel budget is pretty tight.
It's in San Jose, so
Yeah,
it shouldn't be too far.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's just a matter of swinging the registration cost, which interestingly enough, we have two budgets. One is education, which covers registration. The other is travel, which is the one that's really tight. So if you can't travel, then you don't register. So it turns out that the registration or education budget is a little bit looser because it's not getting used.
Well,
Maybe.
then hopefully you make it. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that'll work out for you, Charlie.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if that's it, then we can end a few minutes early.
Very cool.
Great.
Talk to you again soon.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thanks.
everyone.
Thank you. See ya.